Hi, my name is Jacob, and my Chinese name is Gao Xing. Gao is last name, and Xing is my name. I'm from Taiwan, Taipei, and I'm 20 years old, living in Manila, studying in DLSU Liberal Arts.
Hi, my name is Eunice Hernandez. I'm from Sugar Land, Texas, and I'm currently taking advertising management.
My name is Eunice Kim. My age is 19. I've been in the Philippines since 2006, and I am a Korean girl.
I think mostly people describe me as a free spirit. I just do whatever I would like to do. And I like to travel around. I have been to many countries and I do backpacking and solo traveling. So that's why people saying I'm a free spirit. Never one place can hold me down. And if I want to describe myself, I think I'm pretty much kind of the same as how people see me, because I am 100% real when I treat with people. I don't try to pretend to be anyone else but myself. So I think what I think of myself is about the same.
I think people would describe me as someone who's really bubbly, like bright, very happy. People, most of the time, they'd say I'm like the sun because I make people happy, I make people smile, I brighten up the room, and stuff like that. But for me personally, I don't really think of myself as something like that. I think that I'm an introvert, I'm very shy, I don't like talking to people. But it's nice to know that people think I'm very approachable. A stereotype that I most commonly hear because I'm from Texas is that I have a thick southern accent, which I don't. I did have a western accent, but it wasn't a southern accent. And stereotype was like also that we ride horses to school and stuff like that. But we don't. We drive cars. We have cars in Texas.
Filipino people are very nice and very friendly. And so when they see a very quiet girl, because foreigners, when they first come here, they're very quiet. They see a quiet girl, they're very helpful, they're very caring. But to be honest, I'm independent. I can take care of myself.
I think family is where people in love live together, and my role in the family, I'm a son. I'm the second son in the house. I have an older brother, and my mom and my dad. My role in the house, well, we have to help our parents a lot since we grew up and we have more duties. We have to help the families as much as we can. Well, something interesting about me though, since I have been living in different countries before. I live in Spain and I live in Philippines for both more than 1 year. And living there, I had the family, like host families. And also you have a role in those families, and you have to play the role that you have to be a nice guest son, you have to clean the house, you have to have a good relationship with them, and as well as here in the Philippines.
Family, since I grew up in a still strictly traditional Filipino family, we're very close. Like, we value our relationships at home. And then I grew up in a family where we help our parents at home. So even though we lived in the United States for a while, we're all equal. Like, we do our chores, and then our parents provide for us, and then we repay them back by helping them at home.
Family are people who are on your side, even if the world is against you. I am the bunso of the family, so I guess my obligation and responsibility would be to lighten up the mood.
Oh no, it's something pretty fun. Because right now in August is the Golf month in the Chinese calendar, right? And in the Golf month, there's many taboos that people shouldn't do. Like, you shouldn't open your umbrella indoor because they think that attracts the ghost to hide under the umbrella. And then you shouldn't whistle at night because it also attracts the ghost to go to you. And then you shouldn't wear red underwears when you are worshipping your ancestors or the ghost, because they go to you. Another thing is because in Taiwan we eat with rice, and with one hand we hold the rice bowl, another hand we use chopsticks, and you never put the chopsticks like this, like vertical, because that means the food is for dead people. So never put your stick your rice chopsticks into the rice. Never do that. You always put it on the side or you hold it on your hand.
I think the most common disrespectful thing that I could think of is when people disrespect the flag or the country. Like, let's say what's happening currently in the United States is the president, or in sports, like let's say people don't respect the national anthem. There's this thing where they kneel during the national anthem, like athletes, and then some people feel like it's disrespectful because you're not actively looking at the flag with your hand on your chest. So that for them, they feel like you're disrespecting the entire history of the country, the people that fought for it, and stuff like that. But I think because their patriotism is like towards like a different direction, it's wrong. Pero me looking at it, it doesn't seem wrong because the reason why people are doing it is because they're trying to fight for something, and it makes sense for me.
If you would say most, the most disrespectful thing in my country would be to say bad things about your parents. Rather than disobeying, when someone say bad things or swears to your parents, like your mama jokes and stuff like that, most likely it would be considered rude if I won't fight with that person.
I think nowadays, actually Taiwan is one of the most liberal places in Asia. We are the first country that legalized gay marriage in the entire Asia. So I think Taiwan, difference between male and female in Taiwan is kind of the same now. Yet, in the traditional value, there's still always more boys than girls, because boys can continue with their last name, family last name, and that's what traditionally people want. But I think nowadays doesn't matter.
Roles of men and women in America are actually kind of like the same in the Philippines. It's the workplace is still a very male-dominated place, especially for white men who control the different industries, different workplace, the market, stuff like that. And also it's difficult for the minorities of different religious backgrounds, race, and all that kind of stuff. So it's not fair for everyone.
Yes, there are bold difference, there are subtle difference, but the boldest would be the military, where men would have to go to the military to save the country, while the women have to go home and care for the family.
I had this huge culture shock when I first came to the Philippines, like the first 3 months. Because Philippines was so different. I remember the first day I left the airport and a corrupted cop stopped me and tried to blackmailing me. And then I see the 7-Eleven with guards and people backing you in the door and like asking you for money, and see the street on the street kids running naked with their bare feet, even though it's flooded there. And that's really big difference, and I had a hard time in the beginning. But I think after living here for about a year now, I adjust. And by adjusting is I change my attitude. I don't look down from like I'm from a better country and looking down to this country, but I kind of changed my position to as just a people living here, and as I'm one of you. And then I don't judge it that much, and I don't compare it that much, and I get used to the things here, and I think that's one of the ways.
One of the challenges that I faced was the difficulty of having to travel from my house to school, because I was used to driving to school every day. I had my own cars. And then when I moved here to the Philippines, I had to learn how to use public transportation. And it was only then that I realized that it's hard. It's hard because it's not easily accessible for everyone, and it's not a good option for many people. Like in the Philippines, to get to places, people would really most likely want to use a car. instead of use the public transportation kasi it's not for everyone.
Most likely, one of the most significant challenges would be self-expression. We have different culture, different language, different way of thinking. So for me, it's okay, but for the other person, they'll get culturally shocked, or vice versa. But if you open your mind and if time passes, everything is okay.
In Taiwan, we have this thing called garbage truck. So garbage truck will come to your neighborhood in a certain time of day, and then they will play a classic song, like a Beethoven song, dun, 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 and then people just like holding their garbage bags and running out and throw their bags into a truck and go home. In Taiwan, if you heard classic music on the street, it's not because we're fancy, because there's garbage truck and it's time to take out your garbage. Nothing that's really unique and weird. Yeah.
In the States, people find it, here in the Philippines, people find it weird when we say that, oh, you're 18, your parents don't have any control over you anymore. But in retrospect, like, here in the Philippines, you know, we have a very strict traditional household. So while you're still living in your parents' house, they have control over you. So it doesn't matter how old you are, because they're still feeding you, providing you with your money and stuff like that. So it's a different cultural thing in the States.
Actually, one of the things would be the bow. When we greet our elders or someone who's older, we bow down. This is what we teach our children. Like, we say, bow, put your hands on your belly and you bow. But a lot of them got shocked in ways like they're asking why you're bowing or like that. But it's a sign of respect. But a lot of people mistake with this one, the hands, but that is not Korean. I think that's Thailand or something.
You know this egg when there's little birds inside? There's dot. How do you call that? Bulog, yeah, bulog. I think that's really weird. Like, what do you eat, like bird's head and something? And then what else is weird? I think jeepney is weird. The jeepney, like they stop right in the middle, and there's like a ton of cars behind and don't give a shit. And just like stop, get down, and so many things. I think the politics here is weird. Like, you can just kill people. It's like, oh, I don't like you, now I like you, something like that.
I think what's weird about the Filipino culture or the Filipinos is the way they ask people out. I think it's just weird that people try to adapt to the Western way of like asking people out. Like, let's say, oh, let's go have coffee. It's weird here, parang in the Philippines, like it's so hot, and then you're gonna ask someone to go out for coffee. But it doesn't matter, like, it's a good place in a coffee shop for you to talk. But like, just to have coffee, it's weird. But they're trying so hard to adapt. I don't know, I'm sorry. I just find it weird.
The weirdest thing I found out when I first came here would be catcalling. Because now there's a law to stop that in the Philippines. But in Korea, you can't even imagine catcalling. Because when you... I guess it's something very historical, is that like around 90s there were a lot of crime against women, so the law is focused more in helping the women when they are encountering sexual crimes. So if I feel offended in the streets by some guy looking at me, I can call the police and I can file a report. In many ways, I can ask for help of authorities, because in Korea it is considered needs to be protected. Women needs to be protected in one way.
I think I will be 30 years old. No, I think I will be traveling, because like travel is my passion. I've been to 24 countries, mostly backpacking, and I like to take photography. So I think I'm gonna travel at some weird place in the world, taking pictures, and I hope at the time I will have a wife, I will have a stable girlfriend that is getting serious, earn some money.
10 years from now, I'll be honest, I would not be here. I have a plan that I'd like to follow, that after I graduate, I'd move back to the States, and that's where I'd continue my education and then work and maybe start up a business.
I guess there would be few options, but if I would get married, I would be in the country of my husband, I guess. If it's a Filipino, Philippines. If it's Korean, Korea. And if I'm not married, then I would most likely be in Korea, because after I graduate, there is no essential reasons for me to stay here, because visa costs money. It's inefficient to spend money without any purpose.
Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, Philippines.
Follow me on Instagram at jacobs.trip. Yo, bye.